First time for the best ideas are free with Ben Young at bwagy.com, also on Twitter as well. G'day there, Ben.
Good morning.
Good morning. And first up, let's talk about the big Facebook IPO that happened Saturday morning, New Zealand time.
Yes, the topic on everyone's lips. Has Bono made $1 billion?
Yeah, what's he going to do with it?
Yeah, or apparently he didn't, but anyway. Yeah, it was quite interesting. There's so much hype towards the Facebook IPO. There's been a number of other technology companies which have gone public in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
Like Zynga, the social mobile gaming platform, which runs games like Farmville. We've had LinkedIn go public.
Yeah.
A lot of other ad networks and media companies.
How's LinkedIn doing?
LinkedIn's doing well. LinkedIn is fundamentally quite a different business.
Yeah.
LinkedIn is just as old as Facebook virtually. It went public a bit sooner, but it's been much more profitable on a percentage basis for longer. I think Facebook's just started to overtake it. But so LinkedIn creates most of its revenue from high-value advertising and then things like job ads and job matching and that kind of stuff.
Is there value ads on LinkedIn? As a consumer, can you pay for extra services?
Yeah, and there's the LinkedIn Premium account. So their financials are quite different, whereas Facebook is we need to sell ads.
Yeah.
However they format that ad, it doesn't matter. That's fundamentally how they make money.
Okay, right.
And plus they've got a couple of deals for search advertising.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff.
So, so did it underperform the Facebook IPO?
Yeah, so that's what all the discussion's about. There's so much build-up towards the IPO, and typically when a company goes public, there's a bit of a pop in the share price.
Yeah. And
I was reading something over the weekend, and apparently the average pop is 18%. So when you go public, the idea is that you underprice it a little bit if you don't think you're going to get that pop.
Yeah.
And that means you list your shares and then the shares quickly jump. And it's a bit of a supply and demand mechanic in terms of when you first list on the market, the supplies are virtually unlimited,
yes,
but they can only service so many orders at once, which
Yeah.
drives the demand up. So when you list, there's so much pressure to push that price up as long as buyers are waiting. And that's what everyone was expecting from Facebook.
Yeah.
But it didn't. It popped up a little bit, 10%, from $38 up to $42, then back down. And it's interesting, at the end of the day, everyone having a look at what happened throughout the day. A company called DataSift, which watches Twitter commentary, was showing that as the sentiment changed during the day, the share price followed, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
Sentiment towards it. There was a website that was looking at the average price that people expected the shares to go up to.
Yeah.
And when I last looked at it, it was about $48 to $52. So that was pre-IPO.
Right.
There are a number of issues on the day, which actually the NASDAQ is going to investigate. For example, they were supposed to list at 11 o'clock. For some reason, people were able to place orders before 11. So they had to push it back to 11:30 whilst they cancelled all those orders because hasn't listed yet, so you can't fulfill them.
Yeah.
Then there was another issue whereby once they opened up at 11:30, people that placed orders between 11 o'clock and 11:29, their orders were accepted, but they were never fulfilled.
Yeah.
And then from 11:30 onwards, there was just it was really slow to process the orders, like the buy and sells. So there wasn't as much velocity in the shares exchanging hands on the day.
It is strange. Where do you think it's going to be in 5 years' time, Ben?
5 years, ooh.
Will it go the way of MySpace?
I don't think so.
Will there be something else that comes in?
I think that Facebook has had a sustained competitive advantage for too long to die as quickly as, say, MySpace did. MySpace was very early on, and arguably they didn't have the same team. Facebook has been very strategic in forming teams around. Your job is growth hackers, like I was talking about a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Your job is to make sure that people stay on the network. Your job is to create ads and push the boundaries. And then someone else's job is to make sure that it doesn't annoy users. So there's teams of people working on all these paradoxical objectives that I think they're going to be fairly robust and still in 5 years.
I think you're right. I think Facebook will be like Google in that it now pretty much owns the social media space as Google owns search.
It has become the de facto place for you to connect with your friends.
Yeah.
If you went offline for 2 years, the first thing you would do is jump back on Facebook to catch up with everyone.
Yeah.
Because you know you'll find them there. And it's kind of the same as if you lost contact with a friend 15 years ago, you'd look through the yellow page, the white pages to figure out, see if you could find their number. They might be unlisted, but chances are you could find them. And people used to be really proud of making sure that the right details were put in the white pages so that people could find you, because it helped connect everyone. And I think Facebook has become that.
When will I get over my fear of putting all my details into Facebook? Like, where I live, what my age is, all that kind of stuff, because I don't put any of that in there.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's quite a generational thing. When you grow up where Facebook is the norm, the way that you treat it is going to be completely different. The way that 18-year-olds interact with Facebook versus our age, very, very different.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, a couple of ideas from Springwise.
Yes.
Which is a great website, isn't it?
Always good for getting ideas all around the world. First one, I love this. If I owned a bed store, I'd probably give it a go. Bedroom furniture store lets customers nap for free. So there's an eco furniture store in New York called Coco Mat.
Yeah.
And they're allowing people to go in and just have a nap in one of the beds. And they'll give you juice and coffee afterwards. Even a little bit of Greek food at lunchtime.
It's got potential to not work out well for them, because all the street folk who haven't got a bed suddenly do.
I'm not sure what the qualification is. But the idea is to get people coming in, trying out the beds. And if you love it, chances are you'll go and buy it. And the beds aren't cheap. They are expensive, I would guess. But it gets everyone talking about beds, whereas they wouldn't normally.
Yeah.
And hotels have done this before, where you could go stay in a hotel and you could actually buy the bed that was in the hotel.
Right, from a catalogue.
Yeah.
I suppose you could buy anything in the room, I guess, from a catalogue.
Yeah, exactly. But the concept there was our beds are so good, they're like you're staying at a hotel, which I think we've all got that story where we've stayed in a hotel or backpackers or a motel where there's been an amazing bed for some reason.
Yeah.
And the next night
it's always the sheets. Sheets are generally pretty good.
Yeah, sheets are pretty good. Anyway, cool little idea. It'll be interesting to see how it spans out. I might send them an email and ask them in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. And finally, one more.
Yeah, one more. The other one is, and this is something that we do on a small scale, but not often in as big a scale. In the Netherlands, they're doing a crowd-funded pedestrian bridge, and the amount of participation dictates how long it will be. So they've got a distance 80,000 euros, 160,000, 240, 360,000, and 440,000 euros. And so you can chip in, you can pay 25 euros for one plank, or 1,250 for an entire bridge section. And then they can put, and they can inscribe it with their name or a message of their own choice. But very, very cool. The council didn't have enough money to add this into their plan, so they opened it up to the public and said, look, if you really need it, look, here's a way of achieving it.
That's great. People feel personally invested in the project. It's crowdsourcing public works.
Yeah, and it's just great for local culture. Yeah, because you actually feel like you own part of that, whereas you don't always feel that way.
Because imagine if they had the service sort of something like this, 100 years ago. You go, well, look at that toilet over there, great granddad. Yeah. He bought the seat,
Yeah. So proud of great granddad.
But that would be kind of nice, I reckon. Yeah.
It's very cool.
All right, check out those ideas up at springwise.com.
Yep.
And Ben Young has all his ideas up at bwagy.com and on Twitter as well. Thanks very much,
Excellent.
Ben.
Thanks.